Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to talk about our next matchup for 173. In this we have the current one lightweight slash welterweight MMA champion Christian Lee taking on Rasulov. The champ is back and looking to the E3. Looking to defend his throne against the undefeated Russian powerhouse, who's been calling for this rematch since their first meeting ended in controversy. For Christian Lee, this fight isn't just another title defense, it's kind of a personal redemption and legacy all rolled into one. As for Rasulov, it's more or less just validation, proving that his style, his wrestling, and his grit can stop one of those dangerous finishers in ONE FC history. So, without further ado, let's break down their skills, their style, and talk about the fight. For Christian Lee, his journey has been absolutely wild. Already the two-division champion. Now, as I said, for one's weight class, their lightweight is actually 170 pounds and their welterweight is 185 pounds. It really does get a little confusing considering I mostly cover the UFC and will continue to mostly cover the UFC as I go on with this channel. But, bear with me with that one. So, two-weight world champion, the most wins in ONE history, the most knockouts in ONE history, and the most finishes in the promotion's history. And all of this and Lee had just turned 27 June of this year. He is still so young in the game, and he still has plenty of time to get more scalps on his accolades. And I mean, you look at his record in ONE, it speaks for itself. Almost every win is a finish. And I mean, this guy rarely sees the scorecards. But this rematch does carry some extra heat. Their first encounter, which was December of 2024, ended in a no contest due to an accidental eye poke that stopped the fight early. And it's such a shame because that fight looked like it was really going to heat up. So, we got some unfinished business here. Lee's fighting to remove that asterisk on his record and, to kind of remind everyone why he's one of the most complete fighters in ONE, while Rasulov, undefeated, 15-0. Another dominant force from the Caucasus, or more specifically Dagestan, and looks to be the first man to kind of dethrone Lee from his belt. It should be also important to note that before their fight, Lee had been away for 2 years before that fight due to personal and family tragedy that I'm not going to delve into. It is not my place nor my business to talk about, but I'll leave it at that he was on hiatus for 2 years before fighting Rasulov. Now, talking about their styles, for Christian Lee, he's a finisher through and through. One of those rare fighters who's just as dangerous on the feet and on the ground. A truly complete mixed martial arts. Technically, his striking is crisp and built around timing. And he doesn't really throw much volume, but what he does land, it is damaging every single time. His right hand is money. His knees up the middle are vicious when opponents shoot in recklessly. But the real backbone of his game is just how well he blends the mixed martial arts. He's not just a striker who can wrestle. It's more of a hybrid. Something, I guess, if we're thinking of MMA, right? You look at something like, say, Islam Makhachev, right? We think, okay, Islam's just a wrestler who can strike. But, Islam, through the progression of his career, has truly blended everything together to become a true mixed martial artist. I mean, you don't head kick Volk without having really good striking, and you don't outbox Dustin Poirier if you can't blend everything together. I'm sorry, but you can't. And for Lee, he transitions from his stand up to takedowns to submissions pretty seamlessly, and that can make him such a nightmare for almost all these 170 pound / 185 pounders. And mentally, Lee's one of the most composed athletes in the sport. He's fought through adversity, he's been knocked down, he's been hurt, and he's still finds a way to win. And he has some of the best back and forth wars in MMA you're going to see in ONE championship. And plus, you add on to just how many title fights this guy has, how many title defenses. He's used to the big lights, used to headlining cards, all that. And now, so this spot on arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest card in ONE championship history, it's nothing new for the guy. As for Rasulov, he is your classic Dagestani fighter, heavy wrestling base, incredible top control, and the ability to make his opponents fucking miserable once he gets his hands on them. And, I mean, you're 15-0, it's no accident, usually speaking. Rasulov's grappling is suffocating. He chains takedowns together or stays tight with good chest-to-chest presser, and he has some of the best positional control you're going to see in MMA. But Rasulov isn't just a wrestler. He does have some underrated striking. Primarily, it's his boxing that's really good. He fires short, compact punches that really do set up his level change nicely. Plus, Rasulov has that patient and composed style to him, one where you rarely see him make a mistake. And he seems to have a really solid gas tank as well. He can go 15 minutes if need be. He carries that quiet confidence of someone who's used to dominating everywhere he goes. Kind of like Ilya Tapor in a sense where, Ilya has such a confidence that it's not of if I'm going to win, it's when am I going to win? What round am I going to beat you by? That's essentially like the confidence. Now, of course, the big question here is for Rasulov, how does he handle someone who can scramble as well as Christian Lee? Because most of his opponents don't have Lee's experience or fight IQ. And once Lee gets up, he doesn't just reset. He's going to attack immediately. And that's going to test Rasulov's composure under pressure in a way I don't think he's ever faced yet. Now, kind of looking at it stylistically, it's in a way you have chaos versus order. And it's one of those matchups where both guys can easily win this fight any given day, but really but only if they can control the environment in the fight. For Christian Lee, it's chaos. His striking exchanges, his scrambles, his wild momentum swings, he thrives when things move fast and unpredictable. For Rasulov, you could say it's more of the opposite order. Takedowns, top control, grinding and suffocating top pressure. Rasulov just wants to drown his opponents as the fight goes on and either get a late finish or a dominant decision. So if Rasulov can get Lee flat on his back, that nice chest-to-chest presser, and keep him there, he's going to win. It's really as simple as that. But if Lee can defend that first wave, keep the fight standing, and remove those positions, Rasulov is suddenly dealing with a very different problem and a guy who can hurt him everywhere the fight goes. Because you also got to remember, in one, you're allowed to knee a downed opponent. And so say if Lee got a clinch on Rasulov couldn't put his knee down and then Lee is forced to just punch him. No, Lee will be able to hit him in the head no matter what. That's actually also what makes, say, the north-south position much more dangerous for either one, as they're going to get kneed in the head from that position. And plus, on the feet, Lee is far sharper and definitely more dangerous. And while Rasulov's striking is very functional, it's not going to be as dynamic as Lee's. And remember, Lee has already felt Rasulov's strength. And while that fight was short, I would think that Lee at least has a good understanding of what he deals with. Plus, 2 training camps for the same guy. You can always improve upon what you're going to have, especially when that fight ended in a no contest where neither fighter really saw who was going to have the clear advantage, as it was only the first round. So I do expect Lee to come in with more movement, some sharper entries, and better setups on the feet. While for Rasulov, he's going to close the distance. But something about Lee's takedown defense is his reactive takedown defense, that the moment Rasulov shoots for the hips, Lee's going to be immediately on him to defend it. As for if I had a list for the keys to victory, it's quite simple. For Lee, it's control the pace. It's, don't get trapped under Rasulov. Just keep it a crazy war of attrition, more or less, and attack with his scrambling ability. Get good underhooks, get butterfly hooks, fight for top position, fight to get back up. For Rasulov, it's quite the opposite. He wants to commit to pressure, chain wrestle effectively. And as I've said before, keep that nice, tight chest-to-chest pressure. Essentially, whoever dictates where the fight takes place, whether it be standing or on the ground, will probably walk away with the belt. But for my official prediction, I'm going to pick Christian Lee in this one. I think the first round is tense. Rasulov's pressure maybe gets a takedown too, but I think Lee can out-scramble him. Rounds 2 and onward, I think Lee will start landing better. He's going to time his kicks better. And by round 3, I think Rasulov will start slowing down as he starts taking more damage. And I can see Lee finishing him in this fight. Submission's a bit of a stretch for me, but I think Lee can win by knockout, if I'm being honest. I am going to pick Christian Lee to win, and I think I'm going to pick him by knockout. For me, it's the difference is the experience, the composure in there, and the killer instinct. And Rasulov's dangerous, no doubt about it. But Lee's been in the deep waters numerous times and almost always comes out on top. And I think he does it again in here. Once again, I'm picking Christian Lee, and I'm going to pick him via knockout. But with that being said, that's been my full breakdown of Lee versus Rasulov. it's one of those fights that definitely defines an era. Either the champion reassesses his dominance, or we're going to see a new name rise. But again, I'm sticking with Christian Lee. The man doesn't just win; he finishes, and I predict him to finish it again. But with that being said, if you like the video, comment and subscribe. Or sorry, like and subscribe. Drop your predictions in the comment section below, and most specifically, who do you think is going to win and how? Next up, we'll have Raw Tang taking on Hama. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Take care.